What is up, everybody, and welcome to a brand new video. And today we're doing something different, something that a lot of you guys have been asking me to do, and I've decided why not make one video about what is actually truly happening in Russia today, because there's not that many sources that you could really check out. So I decided why not. So make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for the daily vlog and for sometimes videos like this. And today we're going to be talking a little bit about what happened. Obviously, you guys know about the drone attack, which was carried out by the Ukrainian forces inside the far east of Russia. They used semi-trucks with fake houses, and the roof slid over, and the drones flew up and blew up around 10 Russian nuclear bombers. I think they're nuclear. I'm not sure, but yeah, I think they were nuclear. Anyways, you might be wondering, what did that lead to? Obviously, that led to Vladimir Putin just bombing the heck out of Ukraine. And obviously, Donald Trump has commented about this as well, what it seems like from the Air Force One aeroplane. And we could check out the little clip right here.
The bombers inside Russia, the airfields, did that change your view at all of what Zelensky, the cards he has?
Well, they gave Putin a reason to go in and bomb the hell out of him last night. That's something I didn't like about it. When I saw it, I said, here we go. Now it's going to be a strike.
So Donald Trump said that Vladimir Putin basically gave him, you could go ahead and bomb now because, that's a reason. Because you bombed the Russian bombers. And, if there was a situation when, for example, let's think about this logically. Imagine this. There was no war, and Russia was just sitting around doing nothing, right? And Ukraine just decides to bomb Russian bombers. Well, maybe yes. Then it's a reason to go ahead and retaliate back. But the thing is, Russia has been attacking Ukraine, bombing Ukraine, and doing all sorts of bad things. So Ukraine decided to retaliate and get rid of some of the very expensive military equipment that Russia had. But for some reason, some people just think that, now it's another reason for Vladimir Putin to be bombing Ukraine. Nevertheless, in my opinion, I think that there just should be extremely heavy sanctions coming into Russia. And, a lot of people are going to be saying, Ivan, how could you be saying this because you're a Russian yourself and you don't like sanctions? No, I hate the sanctions. But the only way to make people think about all of this is when everything is going completely bad. Because imagine if electronics costs a fortune, cores costs a fortune, gasoline costs a fortune, most of the imported stuff costs a fortune. People are going to get angry. And when people get angry, they start sometimes, yes, guys, asking themselves questions on, what the heck is going on over here, Like, why is everything so expensive? So they would decide to go on the internet and start Googling and researching and checking out different sources of news to see what is going on. And then they will be like, wait a minute, I think that we're doing something extremely bad. And maybe that would actually change something. But seems like it takes a very long time to do that, and I really just don't know what else to do. You just got to sanction the heck out of Russia probably to get it all stopped because, I just find it extremely sad that Russia is attacking Ukraine. And in my opinion, right, I'm a 26-year-old guy from Russia. I simply do not understand the point of this war. I simply do not. Like, all right, imagine this. All right, in Vladimir Putin's wet dreams, he captures all Ukraine, right? Just a wet dream here for Vladimir. So what is the plus of this? For example, for me as a Russian citizen, absolutely zero. Because first of all, if that would have ever happened, then you'd probably have to rebuild, Ukraine. Well, we'll have to rebuild Ukraine anyways, but nevertheless, either ways, taxes are going to be higher and standard of living is going to be lower, and it's just going to be more people angry, and that is just not a possibility. But I'm just talking about wet dreams here, right? Like, there is literally, simply no sense whatsoever. They say, oh, in Ukraine, they didn't allow people to speak Russian. No, people could speak Russian. It's just, on official documents, you had to use Ukrainian language, which makes sense. Imagine if somebody said in Russia, America, for example, Donald Trump decides to attack Russia because they are not using English in some documents. This is the type of stuff. And on the other news, just so that you guys would understand what's going on, there's been a lot of scammers calling people on WhatsApp and Russia and Viber. It's like a messenger, right, and Telegram, saying that, we are from the Russian government or from a hospital. We need to update your health insurance. Give us your address, and you will receive an SMS code to your phone number. They receive an SMS code, which they probably don't know what it is, but it basically gives the scammers access to all the details that they need to take out a loan from a bank or something like this and steal money, basically, right? And that is done, I repeat, once again, through messengers, right? Listen to this, right? Russians will be banned from receiving calls from abroad. The Ministry of Digital Development has sent out a second package of amendments to Russian legislation to federal authorities and telecom operators aimed at combating telephone fraudsters. Among other things, it proposes to ban calls to Russians from foreign SIM cards by default. Forbes magazine, which studied the document, reported telecom operators have already complained about the inconvenience that such decision will cause for users. So you might be wondering, right? All right, so they're going to ban calling from abroad. Who really cares about it? Everybody uses messengers anyways, and I could call somebody through WhatsApp, Telegram, or whatever. But imagine this. You block receiving calls from abroad, right? But obviously, that is just half a story from Russia, because there are rumors about the possible imminent blocking of Telegram in Russia and continues to circulate on the internet. After all, Russia is an internet power that was able to develop an analog called the Max Messenger. Only for some reason, it is suspiciously similar to Telegram with one small nuance. The Max platform, which is new and surprisingly very safe, its developers will cooperate with the state for the convenience of users. Oh, how convenient. The FSB is really going to be cooperating with a messenger. The head of the Ministry of Digital Development assured, did I understand this correctly, that we're talking about users working in law enforcement agencies? So basically, we're going to be having our own Russian messenger, guys. Finally, a Russian messenger, because, we can't use WhatsApp, Telegram, whatever, right? And it's basically going to be used by the government to see every single message that anybody sends out to anybody. So, simply speaking, if Russians will be banned from receiving calls from abroad and they make this messenger, they have the full power of the internet and of the data coming out of Russia, because in one simple day, they can just decide, all right, we're turning off, internet access from outside of Russia. They don't have to turn off, calling, because they're already turning it off now. So nobody is going to be even able to complain about this. And when this happens, guess what? People will just have nowhere to complain, and they will be like, all right, if the ban of calling going to happen now, nobody's going to really care about it. They're going to be like, who the heck is going to call us anyway? Everybody's the enemy outside. Who's going to be calling? But it is just unbelievable that you're literally banning because scammers call. Yeah, right. You could just change the system of not receiving like messages or something like that, or making a bit harder for scammers to scam people. No, we're just going to turn off the phones. Nevertheless, the scammers use messengers like WhatsApp and Viber to scam the Russians. Clearly not done because of the scammers. They're just preparing to cut the Russian citizens away from the internet and from the global wide community. Write down my words because I am not going to be doing videos like this often, but this is exactly what's going to be happening. And I hope that you guys who have been asking me to talk a little bit about Russia are happy, and I try to make everybody feel happy. Anyways, guys, thank you very much for watching today's video. If you found it informative, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. And I will see every single one of you in tomorrow's vlog. Adios, amigos.